Starting in 2026, all Viva Cruises guests can look forward to something special. The next chapter, an incredible product development. I'll now hand over to our CEO, Andrea Cruz. Why don't you share with our audience what all our Viva Cruises guests can look forward to?
Yeah, welcome to Viva Cruises and welcome to our next chapter, Viva Boutique. But let me start a little bit when we started 2018, so 6 years ago, which was quite a journey, and I'm very proud actually what we achieved so far. I think the times in between haven't been really easy for all of us, so still I'm very proud the journey which we have taken so far. Speaking about 26 and our next chapter, we are very proud actually by then that we will have 8 dedicated Viva ships. 6 actually will cruise 11.5 months. I think that is something very big. But coming to our new chapter, which will happen on the Seine, actually directly in Paris and starting and ending in Paris on the wonderful Seine River. It's our new ship, Viva Beyond. Talking about Viva Beyond actually, so it will not be a complete new build, but we are taking it from our parent company, Skilla. So it's comparable actually when you find these beautiful old houses and you think, my God, I want to renovate it exactly the way how I want to have it. This is what we will do with our Viva Beyond. So basically we are starting from the scratch. And the nice thing is she's only 110 meters long, so guests which have traveled with us so far can compare it with our Viva Tiara. The exciting thing is, first time in the history of Viva Cruises, we have 50% of our capacity will be suites only. Speaking about the suites, what can you expect? You can expect 30 square meter master suites with a walking-in closet with a perfect view. I think that is totally incredible. The next thing is that we will have 3 restaurants option. Of course, our Viva Riverside, our Viva Bistro, and Moments. But let me tell you, Moments will be just the perfect spot for dining. With the perfect view, it's already my favorite spot on board. But maybe I can talk a little bit about later, or show you already a little bit about our ideas where it will be based and how it will look like. Let me come back to interior and designing. Actually, as you know, that is a very important chapter in our company. Speaking about that, we are in the wonderful position to have everything in-house. Meaning, when we talk about designing, when we want to choose the right fabrics, the perfect color, we also have the perfect guy, which is our in-house interior designer, Alex Jansen.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So, what are we having today?
Well, we have some nice materials and renders of the new Viva Seine project. What you can see is that we try to create a very new boutique-style ship, something completely new on the rivers.
By the way, is there anything, you know, when you're designing a ship, when you guys are starting, where you're starting with first?
Well, when we think of the design concept, we always try to fit it in the cabins first. Select all the materials that we want, see how it is all fitting together. And as soon as it's absolutely perfect the way we want it, we take this on to the public areas.
When we talk about Viva, you know how much I love my Viva blue and then a little bit of gray and, you know, white, beige, and not too many different colors, but it always needs a certain wow. So how do you choosing, you know, the right fabrics and the right colors, the material? Where are you starting?
Of course, with the Viva blue, as you can see in some of these fabrics.
Yeah, I'm just curious, is there a difference when we have a complete new build? For instance, we have Viva 1, Viva 2, Viva Enjoy. But now our Viva Seine project, we still call it, as we all know, it's a working title, but this is an existing ship, and I just said earlier, you know, when you have these old, nice houses and you start to renovate, exactly, and you basically also start from the scratch. But do you do something different compared to a completely new build? I guess, huh?
Well, when you take an existing ship, you always have to respect the identity of the ship. That's where you're starting from. You can take away many things from the interior, but the ship always has a certain identity. that we take into the design as well. But in the meantime, we also try to fit in the new concept in the existing ship,
so
which
we
you
have
can
the
see
plan
here. Exactly. Yeah, and this is where we started off with different existing cabins and transformed them to a configuration.
With Viva now we are trying to get new audience, you know, a younger audience and also first-time cruisers. So we are not like this very traditional one. So is this for you also exciting to, you know, that we are working as a team, that we are sparring partners?
I really like that Viva enables us to take inspiration from ocean-going cruises and implement it into the river cruises, which you can see with things like open spaces that are connected or different restaurants.
Our guests love our product, our ships, so a big thank you to you. So, and I'm so happy actually that they also can meet you now and that they have a face to the designing person. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
As you know, food and culinary is a big part of Viva Cruises and actually one of my favorite chapters. So since we are developing, we are growing, we are also growing in that part. We are always looking for new opportunities, new cooperation, and of course, new creative and very creative people.
Food brings a smile and touches your soul. We want to take you on that particular journey, a culinary journey. So be surprised, stay curious, and enjoy.
And finally, we would love to hear about your absolute favorites. What are your top 3 excursions on our Seine River cruises?
My favorite spot, pretty hard actually, because there are so many. But for sure Versailles and Versailles' beautiful garden, and Paris. Of course, I love shopping. Yeah, and going back to Honfleur, and don't forget about Monet's garden. And of course, all those very small and tiny alleys, which you can find all over, and the beautiful chateaus, and of course, the whole culinary side. So everything related to amazing food, great restaurants, and a nice glass of champagne, actually right next to me. Be excited as I am, and as we say at Viva Cruises, enjoy the moment.